Sunbeam's wasteland log, entry 29. My guide, Mr. Peddler, has found out my secret. What have I gotten into? Still, even after all this, he has not left me. We've been walking for some time since the explosion at Colt Forge, and he hasn't pressed me for more details either. That's good. I don't want to relive it again, but I will have to tell him. He appears to be taking me to some safe haven he's mentioned. A place for traders of this wasteland.
We're here.
I still hadn't collected myself enough to speak, but I didn't see anything. Just more scorched dead earth. Looks like a quarry of sorts. He continued anyway. I think he just doesn't like the silence. He was traveling by himself when I met him. I wonder if he talks to himself when he has no one else. How often is he alone?
This rock right here, there's a symbol on it, see? There's lots of them. Drifters and hobos used to use them before the war. Now, traders use them. Most ponies just think they're graffiti, though. This one means safe place. If anyone asks, you're a trader. You've been with me for a while. If they question it, shut up and let me talk. Sunbeam, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to tell me about it sooner or later, or we ain't gonna get nowhere. If the whole of the Enclave is after your head, I need to know it. We don't have to go over it now, but you can't stay quiet forever.
Who is it?
Fish! It's Prodigious Peddler. Got a partner with me. Let us in.
My! As I live and breathe. Prodigious Peddler. Well, shoot, come on in. I ain't seen you since that business in Dice.
Well, you still ain't seen me. Now open the door, you old son of a diamond dog.
Sure. One moment.
We descended into a secret place, a hideaway. It looked like a natural cabin in the ground that some pony had converted into a bar. There were even small signs of electricity. I'd love to know how they managed that. The ingenuity of the ponies below the clouds never ceases to amaze me. There were a few patrons here and there, traders like Mr. Peddler, if I understood him right. I tried not to make eye contact. I was curious, but I felt unwelcome, an outsider, as I had felt since the moment I came here.
Fish! How's the business going?
Better now that you're here. Please tell me you're off the wagon.
You wish. You know damn well who's the first one to get shot when things go south. The pony who's off his ass on Wild Pegasus.
If you insist. But we got some good vintages down here. All pre-war and out of steel.
Oh, no. None for me, thanks.
Fine. Break an old pony's heart. What about for your lady friend?
He's what?
Don't you go around assuming nothing. She's a trader, same as me. We're on a joint venture, heading to Megamart. Got a bunch of scrap in the wagon outside.
And the sleepy feller?
Buck who got knocked around a bit in the last town over. Been out cold for a while. My heart ain't got cold enough to leave him. So, he's with me. Looks like there's been some trouble near Colt Forge. We were gonna go through there. You heard anything on the horn about a safe route?
Safe route to Megamart, eh? Well, I can't say now's the best time to be traveling anywhere. All kinds of shit going down all around the wasteland. It's that whole Lightbringer business, if you ask me. Some filly fresh out of the stable shaking things up. Never know what you'll hear next. Even the trader stations have been talking about it. Ain't you been listening? You still got that old pickbuck of yours, don't you? Sorry, didn't mean to pick at old wounds. In any case, getting to Megamart's gonna be hard. Only safe route I know of goes round the long way, out of Hoofington altogether. Colt Forge is burning to the ground, and there's something nasty going on in flank, so you can't go back up through there. I'd say your best bet is heading to Colchester.
Colchester? Shoot, that's all the way out near the coast.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's some weird-ass stuff going down in the wasteland these days. Ain't nowhere safe. Whole place turned on its head. Something big's going down, Prodigious Peddler.
I know. I just hope a lot of us don't get caught up in it. Thanks for the info, Fish. Get us a room in the back. In the morning we'll be out of your hair. Take some caps for yourself.
Thank you kindly. And remember, I can send some bubbly to your room if you and your little filly want us.
I'd stop that sentence where it stands unless you want to lose the rest of your teeth. Thank you for the room.
We seem to be taking up residence in a room at the back of the bar. I would never have found it. It looks like an ordinary wine rack. The room behind it was far from clean. But at least it was somewhere to rest. I need to just sit and think for a moment. It's all too much sometimes.
You take the bed. Toss me a pillow. I'll take the floor.
That's, very honorable of you.
Oh, good. Talking again.
I'm so...
Save it. You need to start explaining what kind of shit I'm in and why. I gave you time to breathe. Hell, I'm the reason you're still breathing. I've been way nicer than I rightly should be.
Okay. I'll tell you.
Start at the start and at the end. I want to know everything.
As you now know, I was a Pegasus. And just like that, I was back there. My house, in the clouds. I lived in a place called Stormy Corner, part of the cloud cover above Trondheim. It's a place wrapped in storm clouds. Even before the war, we could hardly see the surface. We were a little remnant of what once was a major part of the Trondheim cloud cover. Those who didn't go to try and protect Cloudsdale during the war, they didn't pay us much attention. Hardly sent much food our way.
Hello, my little sunshine.
Grandfather Clearday! My grandfather came to visit one day. He was a scientist. The tablets I use for water purification, the reason I have so many is that they were his invention. Every tablet in the wasteland came from his laboratory. Trondheim has a much better volunteer corps than the branches here. It was his goal to bring the better living conditions found in the clouds to earthbound ponies. He was a brilliant stallion, but a bit of a black sheep, even in my family. Oh, it's so great to see you!
As it is to see you, my sunshine. How have you been?
Excellent! I've been studying robotics. I think I may have made a breakthrough in the operatic structures. Oh, it's so nice to have you here. We must talk about it. I haven't had anyone who can make heads or tails of what I'm saying around in so long.
Calm down, my sunshine. There will be much time to talk. For now, why don't we sit down for a bit of tea?
Oh, well, I'd love to, but I don't have any at the moment. You know how things have been lately. Food rations.
Oh, yes. Yes, right, of course. I shouldn't have requested. I'm sorry.
Oh, nonsense. Don't worry about it. I think I've got some wheat cookies in the cupboards. Let's catch up. I haven't seen you in so long. My grandfather seemed strange for the whole visit. Not distant exactly, but it seemed as though a cloud had settled over him. We talked for hours, but it seemed as though there was something he wasn't saying. And so you see, there are similar structures along the remnants of a vestigial remnants, but when the lines are much more cohesive.
Hmm? Oh, of course. Brilliant research, my child.
Grandfather? Are you alright?
Me? Well, of course I am. Well, maybe not quite as much as I pretend. Sunbeam, things have been getting worse. Here in the clouds, haven't they?
Grandfather?
I know they tell us not to worry, but you have to have noticed it. With your brain, I'm sure you've noticed before most. The food is getting scarcer, the politics messier, even the storms seem worse.
Well, yes, I have noticed. But what are we going to do about it?
You know full well what my aim has always been. Integration with the surface. I've worked on using the irradiated earth for planting, with no real success. But I think I found something that can help save this crumbling world.
Grandfather, what have you found?
I think I've found a way to change things. For the better. An old research book. a contingency. Do you remember the old books I used to read you? The ones about the fox?
Of course.
Well, I think there might be something more to them. I've been working on a machine that... Silence, child. Say nothing more.
Is any pony home?
Rainfall came. He was the same as then, thoroughly against any exploration to the surface. Because of the nature of the cloud cover, the small populations, he's, well...
What do you want, Rainfall?
Oh, come now, what's a little visit between family members? Little companionship, camaraderie. Hello, Sonny, how are you?
You are no family of mine.
Tisk, tisk, is that any way to talk to your nephew? Can we not be civil? And my offer to join the Enclave's research and development team is always open.
You mean your weapons factory? I would rather tie my wings and jump from the clouds.
Oh, you wound me. Anyway, I've been looking for you. I was hoping we could talk about some recent developments in the Volunteer Corps. Perhaps you found something interesting down among the dirt? The way you've been tracking it about the clouds recently might make one think you've been busy with something. Look, you've gotten it all over poor Sonny's house.
What I do on my own time and what I say to my granddaughter is no concern of yours, Rainfall. I was just leaving in any case. Sunbeam?
Yes, Grandfather?
Here, a gift. The storms have gotten worse. I hope it keeps you dry. Now I bid you adieu.
He gave me a cloak. The same one you see me wearing now. He'd made it with me in mind, to withstand the storms, keep out the heat. It stays clean, keeps away water, and it was one of the few gifts I have ever received in my life. Rainfall followed him out shortly, but not before turning and talking to me a final time.
Oh, by the way, Sonny,
Yes?
if I were you, I wouldn't put too much stock in my dear uncle's affairs. He's getting on in years, and he could be dangerous.
I don't believe that.
Well, believe what you wish, just friendly advice. Have a nice day. You look nice in that cloak, by the way.
I was shaken, but I didn't put too much stock into the encounter. Still, it warned me through the night, so that morning I paid him a visit. Oh, Celestia, if only I'd gone earlier.
Grandfather? Grandfather, are you there?
Grandfather? Hello? The door was open, so I walked inside. The house was a mess. All of Grandfather's work strewn everywhere. I couldn't believe it.
Grandfather, are you here? Grandfather?
There was no answer. I searched every room. His bedroom, his study, kitchen. Each was in ruin, and each was empty. Until I came to the final door. The door to his laboratory. That one opened by itself.
Hello, Sonny. I'm so sorry you look a bit perplexed. Something wrong?
What have you done? Where's Grandfather? What did you do with him?
Why, only what he wished.
What do you mean?
Well, I asked him if he wanted to join the Enclave Science Division. He said he didn't want to.
I asked what you did with him.
Well, you know what he said. And you know me, I'm nothing if not obliging. So I tied his wings together and made him jump.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, the order was put out, see, and it was left up to me how I got from point A to point B, so as a good nephew, I made his wish come true. Now, since we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to be needing some information from you.
You murderer!
Yes, I'm terrible, I know. But besides that, did he tell you anything? I would really like to know. I think he was working on something quite good. I'd hate for it to go to waste.
I don't know anything. And even if I can't believe this. You monster! I'm running straight to the police.
Oh, really now? Do you think I snuck in here? The Enclave runs the police, darling. There's no way for you to go. Now come along. Let's see if you're as stubborn as your grandfather.
Let me go!
Hey, you little...
I ran outside the house. My grandfather had one of the few vehicles in the cloud cover, a small model from before the war, used for getting dignitaries from Turningham to Cloudsdale. I knew how to start it. In my hurry, it was the only thing I could think of.
Come on! Yes!
I thought I'd gotten away, that I could fly to Cloudsdale, or one of the other settlements, find help. But he was ahead of me.
Hello again. Testing.
Get off this channel! Get away from me!
Well, by any standard of away, I'm well away from you. You're traveling quite fast. My voice is the only thing of mine that is within proximity. And what harm could that do?
I don't want to hear another word from you! Not another word! You murderer.
Hush. There. I know that my poor uncle's death was regrettable, but it's really nothing to get bent out of shape about. Come on now. It might even be worth it if something were, say, gained. You see, your grandfather stole something. Something that I want very much. Something that gave importance to our little kingdom in the clouds. If you know anything, you should tell me.
I know nothing. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Oh, grandfather.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. If you know nothing, then I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to join the Enclave's research and development team.
What?
Take that as a no. Well, there's only one thing for it. I can't exactly tie your wings from here, but I can do the next best thing. I figured your old grandfather might try to get away in this contraption, so I put a little surprise in the propellers. Oh, and the doors won't open, so don't bother.
What?
Oh, I know he loved this song. Call it a gift, if you will. Enjoy it.
Wait!
Goodbye, my little sunny pony.
Rainfall!
I fell, Prodigious Peddler. You don't know what that's like. When you're a Pegasus, you never fall. Not really. Your wings are there to catch you. You know they are. You don't fear it. You spread them and you glide. Like my grandfather taught me. But I was in a prison of metal, hurling towards the wasteland. I was falling for the first time, and all I could do was scream. I did. For a long time, the capsule was buffeted by the storms that covered my home. Eventually I had the presence of mind to try and smash the window, but by that time, the ground was coming. I'd never seen the wasteland. I was introduced in a hurry. I managed it, but I was too close to the ground. I could barely get any lift, and I hit the ground. The craft followed shortly afterwards, only barely avoiding me. I lay there, in terrible pain. My wings, they were broken in the impact, along with a ripple tube. I was immobile and vulnerable in the middle of the wasteland. I don't know how long I lay there, but in the heat of the fire from the crash, I looked back at my cloak. Plans. The heat had revealed plans laid out on the inside of my cloak. My grandfather had known the perfect place to hide them, but I was alone, and I...
Sunbeam, What about your wings? What happened to them? They were broken, not...
Please, another time. You've heard enough. You know why he wants me, don't you? He figured it out. He knows what I have.
True. But what are the plans for?
I don't know. But I know I can build it. I can figure it out. If only I had the pods. That is why it is so important I reach Megamart.
Alright. You know, this is a mite bit heavier than what I was told in flank.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, nothing to do for it now. I ain't leaving you. My word is my word. But from now on, you gotta be honest with me. I will hear the rest of that story of yours eventually. You got it?
I got it.
Good. Now get some sleep. You ain't gonna get much of a chance to sleep on a mattress down here. Don't waste it.
Thank you.
Good night.
We settled into sleep. As we did, I could still hear that song in my head, as I often do. He settled into sleep. He always wears the same clothes, the same hat. I think they must be enchanted with how they stayed clean. It struck me that because of this, I have never seen his cutie mark. As he settled onto the floor to sleep, he used his coat as a blanket. And for a moment, I saw it. It was a symbol, much like the one that adorned the outside of our makeshift hotel. I saw it only for a second, and I couldn't fathom the meaning. As I tried to sleep, I found myself wondering. This stallion I was traveling with, who refused to leave me for the simple fact he struck a deal to lead me. He now knew my story, but I knew nothing of his. It troubled me until I finally managed to drift off, humming the song from my memory. Sunbeam's Wasteland Log, Entry 30. Who is Prodigious Peddler?
Good evening, everypony. That was Sera, written by Bigpip. Peddler was played by Dragonite. Sunbeam was played by Starry Flame. Fish was played by Random. Clear Day was played by Kiko and Gilly. And Rainfall was played by Anthony C. Editing was done by Starry Flame and Bigpip, and produced by Pony in a Box. And finally, a special thanks goes out to Coffee Anon. Stay safe out there in the wasteland. Till next time, good night.